Good evening, everyone. Today is the 23rd of September, and we're going to be doing a really deep dive into the Adaptive line of products. doTERRA has come out with a whole range of new products, including the Adaptive line, and over the next few weeks, we're going to be diving deeply into the ingredients in those products and why we want to use them and why we want to recommend them. In the next few weeks, I don't know if you can see right over my shoulder, I have my big head of David Sterling, so he's watching over my shoulder. That actually came from convention. If you were at convention, you know that at the team party, one of the things that we did was we gave everybody these big sort of bobbleheads that were in the shape of the various faces of the founders of doTERRA. And then when you were called to dinner or to get prizes, you went up with your bobblehead because that was your group that you were supposed to be working with. So the cool thing about Adaptive, I think, is that we are able to use Adaptive continuously throughout the day with different delivery methods. And I'm going to talk to you a lot about that in a minute. But I also want you to begin to think about why you want to use this product and who you can use this product with. Because I have to say, of all the products that came out on this in this particular convention, this is the one that I want us to be reaching out for. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. So let me share my screen with you. Whoops, where's my screen? Wait, hold on. Gotta pull up my file first. My goodness, what am I doing here? There we go. Okay, now I'm ready to share. Okay. Getting a little crazy here. Not doing so well. Okay, great. Okay, let me pull this up and shrink this down and let's hit play. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Elena Jordan, and today I think is going to be a really interesting day. We haven't done this in the past. Usually when I do new products, I do sort of what I did last week, which was kind of a big overview of all the products, and then I kind of let it go, or maybe I talk to you individually if people have questions. But I think it's important because the products that we found out about at this particular convention are so unique and so different that they warrant a deep dive. And Adaptive is the one product that, as I was listening to the information and the science about it at convention, I really felt like this was something that I wanted to share with others. I have had, unfortunately, over the last few weeks, some sad news from different friends and from colleagues about people in their lives or in my life that have actually taken their own life. And I want to believe that there's something that we can do about this, this terrible scourge, really, that we're living through, a time where people are giving up on their own lives and giving up on the very precious gift that they're given to be here on this earth. I have, as we all have, I have absolutely felt those feelings of despair and confusion. And thankfully, I was in a position to maybe seek help or to find solace in something or someone or something broke through that darkness. But I also know that many, many people struggle with anxiety and depression and sadness that is so profound that really continuing to be here just seems like a painful scourge, and they don't want to continue. So for those of us who have been through those dark days, or you know someone who has, or you know someone who currently is struggling through something very difficult, that's why I want to do this deep dive into Adaptive. I feel like we have a product finally now that can really help. And I want to make sure that we're getting the best use out of it and that we're referring people to it as much as we possibly can. Okay, I want to say thank you to our Presidential Diamond team. You are an amazing group of just leaders, movers, and shakers. I had the great good fortune to spend a lot of time with you over the weekend of over the week of convention. And I just see in your eyes, in your hearts, and in your minds, everything that you're going through and the leadership that you're trying to provide for the groups that you are with. For those of you who are not able to go to convention, I also feel your heart and your spirit. And I really want to thank you for everything that you've done. I had also some time to spend in Malaysia and in Singapore about a month ago, and just that connection that I feel that I make, or I'm able to make, with each and every one of you when you are near to me. The last thing is, I want to say thank you for your generosity. Thank you again and again. This team has exhibited such enormous generosity, not just towards their teams, but towards me personally. In the things that you do for me and the thoughtful ways that you take care of me. You all take such good care of me when I am traveling, taking me places, and just the kindnesses that you show me are just sometimes overwhelming to me. And I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. Okay, so today, the doTERRA new product that we're doing a deep dive on, we're doing a focus on the adaptive line. While I'm starting this presentation, I'm actually also going to call up a new app that I'm going to talk to you about, which I feel is very important, and I'm going to use them side by side. You can't, obviously you can't see my face right now, but you'll see my face in a little while, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. Okay, so the adaptive product line. So adaptive comes in 3 formats. It comes in a 15 milliliter pure blended essential oils, not diluted with any fractionated coconut oil. On the right-hand side, it comes in a 10 milliliter roll-on that is blended with fractionated coconut oil, but the blend on the right and the blend on the left are the same. If you have your child drawing on an iPad, if you could just delicately erase the lines, otherwise I'm going to have to stop and erase them. But if you could just do that, that would be really helpful for me. Thank you so much. So on the left-hand side, thank you. On the left-hand side and on the right-hand side, we have the 2 essential oil blends. On the left, pure essential oils, and on the right, we have the essential oil blend that's diluted with fractionated coconut oil. And I'm going to explain to you why you want to know the difference between the 2 and the importance. And then in the middle, we have our calming blend capsules, a really revolutionary blend, in my humble opinion, and something you cannot be without. These products are going to be sold individually. They're also going to be sold as a set. And for right now, I know that they are not available in any of the Asian markets. Hopefully they'll be available in Singapore first. That's my expectation. But in the meantime, they are going to be available as an NFR product within the next 7 days. Okay. So number 1, why do we need this? We live in a world where we want everything to happen instantly. We spend too much time with our smartphones and laptops without ever really giving ourselves a break from work. We lose out on opportunities to connect with friends and family. We feel that working hard and taking fewer breaks makes us successful. The bills won't stop coming. There will never be more hours in a day, and work and family responsibilities will always be demanding. A nagging headache, trouble sleeping, a lack of energy, and decreased productivity are all signs of everyday stress. Exercise like yoga or a few hours at the gym helps. Meditation, eating right, even hobbies or a vacation can be beneficial. Stress management is all about taking charge of lifestyle thoughts, emotions, and dealing with problems. Let's face it, we can't completely eliminate stressors, so we need something to help us adapt. The doTERRA Adaptive Calming Blend products are an effective answer to reducing stress and helping to restore mental and physical resiliency. Now, this is what doTERRA is saying on their website, and that's why I'm reading it to you. But I'm going to give you a little background on this. One of the things that you may not know about me is, as an entrepreneur, we tend, and I think this is true of many of us, we tend to work at very odd hours, and we may extend our work hours really into the night, onto our weekends, and we don't take breaks. Now, when I was in Singapore, I talked to a lot of you about a actual physical planner that I'm using, a paper planner. So I use my calendar on my phone, which is digital, of course, and then I use my paper planner, which is analog. And the reason I like the combination of the two is that the paper allows me to not pick up the phone and just be drawn into all the different things that are going on there, whether it's chats or messages or Facebook or Instagram or all the different things. Before I know it, I went to check one thing and I've been on that phone for 10, 15, or even 20 minutes or more. What I'm trying to help to develop is the habit of stopping and concentrating and reducing stress. So one of the things that I also am trying to do is I'm trying to free up my weekends. Now, many of you know that Sunday is a sacred day for me. I am a Catholic and I go to church on Sundays. And usually in the morning, my day is mostly devoted to my family and my worship service. And then in the afternoon, maybe to some sort of a lunch or a dinner, early dinner with friends or a brunch. But I have found myself from time to time in the evening sitting down to prepare the slides for this presentation or get ready for the week. And instead of it taking me a half an hour or 20 minutes, just sort of a quick check, it can run into hours. And that's something that I really want to avoid. So I've done two things for myself. Number one is I've set a hard stop for my work day at 6 p.m. And I know that sounds crazy to some of you. You must be thinking 6 p.m., that's so early. Yes, it is. But I also get up in the morning very, very early. I usually get up between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. And I found that if I reorganize my day to be starting early and also being more productive and not falling into the rabbit hole of constantly scrolling on my phone, I can get things done and then really enjoy my weekends and my nights. However, I still find that at 10 p.m. when I'm ready to go to bed, or 10:30, and I know some of you may thinking 10 o'clock, she goes to bed, that's so crazy. Before I get into bed, I often have feelings of either stress or disappointment or disillusionment or sadness because I feel like I have not gotten enough done during the day. And that's a common problem for me. And I know I've heard it from some of you. It's just that feeling of, oh my goodness, I still have so much more to do. That feeling is what I'm trying to break so that I go into bed and I actually have a restful sleep. Because at times when I feel so distressed, I'll get into my bed and I'll actually go over the events of the day again and again and again. And even if I'm not sad, I'll be thinking what I said to someone, what I need to say to someone, something I need to do for the following day. That's the unproductive pattern that I want to break for myself. And if any of this is resonating with you, that's what the adaptive line is for. Okay, so now I'm talking about the capsules first, and then we're going to talk about the oils. In the capsules, we have 3 special ingredients. We have a botanical extract called Scaledium, which comes from a succulent plant found in South Africa known as canna. Scaledium extract is responsibly sourced from a sustainable supply with endorsement by the South African indigenous knowledge holders. A unique phytochemical ingredient found in Scaledium extract brings a feeling of alert serenity, which means this is not a product that's going to put you to sleep. Remember, alert serenity. So for all of you who are thinking, oh my gosh, is this going to put me to sleep? No, you're going to be able to feel more calm. The extract supports healthy emotional responses to everyday stressors and promotes feelings of happiness and well-being. It balances healthy levels of mood, stabilizing hormones, and improves cognitive function while combating occasional nervousness. So let's talk a little bit about nervousness and anxiety. I know that there's actually medical conditions, people who struggle from panic attacks and anxiety disorders, and I am absolutely aware that depression is one of the medical diseases that can sometimes be baffling to doctors and to professionals and to individuals. What I am not asking you to do is to diagnose your friends. I am also not asking you to ask your friends to go off any medications that they are on. But what I am asking you to do is maybe begin to spread the word that there's something else available that they can use alongside whatever methods they are currently using. So GABA, and this is a key one, my friends, a quieting neurotransmitter, also helps promote relaxation. GABA has a natural comforting effect and helps reduce feelings of apprehension and fear by decreasing neuronal excitability, sometimes called the brakes of the brain because it lowers the activity of the neural cells in the brain and central nervous system. It has the effect of moving the brain and the body into lower gear. By inhibiting neural activity, GABA reduces mental and physical strain. And finally, ahi flower. Ahi flower is actually a natural vegan source of omega-3. So for all my vegetarians and vegans out there, you're going to hear a lot more about ahi flower. Omega-3s can easily travel through the brain cell membrane and interact with mood-related molecules inside the brain. They also have anti-inflammatory actions that may help relieve depression. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about ahi flower. So Dr. Alexandra Richardson has researched the ahi flower extensively, and she's known specifically about her research into nutrition and particularly fatty acids, how they can affect behavior, learning, and mood. Her work generally involves several large-scale collaborative programs that include studies of epidemiology, genetics, brain imaging, biochemistry, nutrition, physiological, and psychological functioning. Her current research centers on the role of fatty acids in relation to both normal individual differences and developmental and psychiatric disorders such as dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADHD, autism, depression, and schizophrenia. Recent and ongoing work includes controlled treatment trials to investigate the effects of dietary supplementation with fatty acids in relation to features of these conditions, experimental studies of possible underlying mechanism, and collaborative investigations of the epidemiology and genetics of neurodevelopmental disorders. Whew, okay, so what does Dr. Alexandra Richardson say? Basically that ahi flower she actually sits on the committee for the Ahi Flower Association. I know this sounds crazy, but that ahi flower can become or is becoming one of the key substitutes for fish oil. So if you are a vegan and you do not in general take fish oil, but you've been taking perhaps flax oil or other omega-3 sources, you may want to increase your intake of adaptive so that you are getting some of the amounts of omega-3. We know that omega-3 is one of the ingredients that helps to kind of bathe the brain in goodness, if you will. I take at least, I take my XE Omega every day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. And what I like about the XE Omega, I feel, is that it maintains my mental and emotional capacity to withstand stress and also to be resilient. If I'm going through particularly difficult period of stress, I would usually take additional XE Omega. I have to be honest with you. I would either take an additional 2 at lunch, or I may double up in the morning, but I want to make sure that my brain is really bathed in omega-3s. And so now with the adaptive, you have an additional source of omega-3s that can help you and your brain to function. Okay, the science of adaptive. Adaptive contains lavender, coriander, wild orange, and fennel in addition to the 3 other ingredients that I mentioned. So you are getting these 4 essential oils in addition to the scalenium, the ahi flower, and the GABA. Okay. So here we're talking about, again, the gamma aminobutyric acid, which is what GABA stands for, and it is the main inhibitory neurotransmitter acting on GABA brain receptors. So basically by including GABA in our diet, we help the brain to inhibit neurotransmitters that are acting on the GABA brain receptors. Okay, what is GABA? So let's talk a little bit more about that. WebMD says GABA is a neurotransmitter that blocks impulses between nerve cells in the brain. Low levels of GABA may be linked to anxiety or mood disorders, epilepsy, and chronic pain. Researchers suspect that GABA may boost mood or have a calming, relaxing effect on the nervous system. Okay, and why do people take GABA? Again, this is from WebMD, my friends. This is not from, I did not write this. People take GABA as a supplement to try to improve mood, relieve anxiety, improve sleep, help with premenstrual syndrome, and treat attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. They may also take GABA to try to relieve pain or discomfort from injuries, increase tolerance to exercise, lower blood pressure, burn fat, or increase the growth of lean muscle mass. So in my humble opinion, GABA is an ingredient that you want to include in your diet. Now, the adaptive is not specifically meant to increase or to help with the things on the bottom, the pain, the blood pressure, and the burning of fat. But I have to say, it cannot hurt. And if you are less stressed, you are more likely to eat properly, to exercise, to socialize, and to get out and to just feel better in general about yourself, which is going to help your health. Okay, so from the website, doTERRA Adaptive are an effective answer to reducing stress, restore mental and physical resiliency. They have mood boosting and tension reducing effects with the four oils that I mentioned, along with scaledium, GABA, and ahi flower. GABA has a natural comforting effect and helps reduce feelings of apprehension and fear by decreasing neuronal excitability. It balances healthy levels of mood stabilizing hormones and improves cognitive function while combating occasional nervousness. Take one adaptive calming blend capsule daily to combat stress, tension, and occasional anxious feelings. Now, I am taking my adaptive at the end of the day because for me, as I explained before, my most tense part of the day is at the end. I tend to get to the end of the day and I'm just worrying, and then it takes me a long time to get to sleep. So even with my Serenity gel caps or my lavender piece, I was not a person who could quickly drop off to sleep. I would meditate, I would say prayers, I would do all sorts of things to calm the mind, and yet my mind was very excitable. What I'm finding now is I'm taking an adaptive capsule and I'm adding a Copaiba and my Serenity, and it is absolutely the ticket for me to calm down. So I had been taking the Copaiba with the Serenity, and yes, that was very effective. And if I still couldn't sleep, I was adding 4 drops of vetiver. Most of the time I did that for chronic insomnia, which I do not have. But if from time to time, either I had jet lag or another problem, adding those 4 drops of vetiver was very helpful. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking the adaptive at about, say, 9:30, which is before my bedtime. But as I'm getting ready for bed, which is when I would usually be stressing out, and what I was able to do last night was put my phone in a different room, sit down and read a book. Not only did I read a book, I read a book that was completely unrelated to work. So many of you have read The Lord of the Rings or you've read The Hobbit, and you know that these are basically fantastical works. But what you might not have known is that the author of those books has also written some other works, and I'm actually reading a book of short stories, and so by Tolkien, and I feel it's like escaping into a wonderful, magical world. And I was so incredibly relaxed when I went to bed last night and just happy, which almost never happens to me. I usually wake up happy, as you know, because you've seen me on this call many, many times, but I don't usually go to bed in that state. And so I really attribute it to adaptive. Okay, now let's talk about the essential oils. The other thing that I want you to do is, as you're thinking about the adaptive and you're hearing the things that I'm talking to you about, I want you to be typing your questions in the notes, because obviously I'm talking a lot and you're hearing a lot of information. I want to make sure that you are registering your questions right away. So what's in the adaptive essential oils? We have lavender, neroli, sweet gum and copaiba for calming, and spearmint and wild orange for uplifting. Very interesting. So they're not just giving oils for calming or what we'll call sleeping. We want to make sure that there's kind of a balance so that we're not falling asleep with adaptive, but we are calming our brain activity. Okay, synergistic ingredients. Lavender, magnolia, neroli, and sweet gum provide stress-relieving effects. Wild orange and spearmint energize and uplift. And finally, copaiba and rosemary soothe anxious feelings to round out this calming blend. Okay, if you are thinking of using these products together, if you are using the capsules, you are working on a systemic pathway. What does that mean? The whole body, our whole system, our neurological and biochemical systems. If you're using just the oils, you're working on the limbic system, which is a part of the brain that's affected by the olfactory bulb and the olfactory system. The oils work on behavior, thought, and emotion. So in my humble opinion, if you are struggling or you know someone is struggling, you need both of these together. Okay. Adaptive, to get comfortable with new surroundings or situations. How many of you have had to go into a situation that you really felt nervous about, or you had trepidations about talking to someone or doing something, meeting someone new? This is your blend. In preliminary studies, the scent of lavender, our main ingredient of Adaptive, has been found to contribute to an environment conducive to performing tasks requiring sustained attention. So great for students who are trying to study. Whether you're feeling fatigued or restless, indecisive or irritable, Adaptive is part of the toolbox to help the body and mind to stay balanced. Adaptive in combination with Adaptive capsules for synergistic results. Primary benefits: helps boost mood, complements effective work and study, increases feelings of tranquility, soothes and uplifts, calming and relaxing aroma. Okay, so what's your mental wellness protocol? On the left, the pure oil is best used for diffusion throughout the day. So if you have diffusers in your office, in your house, in your car, use your Adaptive essential oil blend. Diffuse, diffuse, diffuse. I have to say, it is slightly stronger than the roll-on, but it is not so strong that it couldn't be used directly on the skin. But I realize that there may be, it may flash off quickly because it has citrus oils in it, but diffuse, diffuse, diffuse. That's your bottle on the left. Your bottle on the right, your roll-on, you're gonna apply topically to the, are you ready? The web of the hand. That's the area between the thumb and the index finger. The base of the neck, so in the front over the thyroid gland, and shoulders, right? We all know where our shoulders are, or the base of the skull. So interesting, they're not saying so much the soles of the feet. They're keeping the application above the waist. Now, does that mean you can't apply to the soles of the feet? Of course you can. But if you want to have optimal absorption and efficacy of this particular blend, consider these 4 application points. And if you want to take a quick photograph of this, you can. Okay, Adaptive touch, okay, solution to life's stressful moments, feelings of restlessness, being wound up, being on edge, happen to everyone from time to time. Adapt and regroup with this blend. Feeling fatigue, difficulty staying on task, helps create a sense of balance. So I will tell you how I used this actually yesterday. As I said to you, I'm trying to dial back my work day and my work week so that I'm having a hard stop at 6 p.m. And yesterday I had left this presentation. I know I don't always do it, but sometimes I do. I left this presentation until yesterday. And I was kind of going over it in my mind, and I wanted to make sure that I did the research on the ingredients so that I could speak to you effectively about it and give you some really good, hard information that you can go out and talk to your teams about. And as you know, this Zoom is going to be recorded, so you will be able to, recorded, posted on the Facebook channels, and also posted on YouTube, so that you're going to be able to access it easily, and also share the link if you need to. So yesterday I was preparing this presentation and also trying to get ready for the week ahead and feeling a little bit stressed. And I got to admit, I was a little bit behind. I don't know if I had mentioned this to you, but I've had painters in my house painting the interior of my house all week. And while the house is beginning to look absolutely lovely, and I'm so happy that it's getting ready, I'm getting ready for the holidays. One of the drawbacks of having extra people working in your house is that you need to be attentive to them as well as everybody else, and make sure that things are being done to your liking. And if they have any questions, you're available to answer them. And so I found myself running, and many of you know I live in a 3-story house, running up and down the 3 stories of the house. And maybe that was a lot of extra exercise, which is always good, but it also meant that I wasn't really concentrating. So from Monday to Friday of last week, because they have been here all week, and in fact, they're back again this morning, I spent a lot of time running and not a lot of time concentrating. So my time was very split, and I actually got to the end of the day and realized there were many things that I did not get finished that needed to get done by this week. So what did I do? I took out my adaptive roll-on and I began to apply it on my neck, on my webs of my hands, and my shoulders, and I immediately began to feel it. If you're on and you're not muted, could you please mute yourself? Thank you. What I found was an immediate sense of calming, focus, and an ability to redirect. By the end of the day, say at 4 o'clock, when I had really been working at least 3 or 4 hours because I had spent the morning with my family, I was feeling tense and frustrated and confused and a little bit agitated because I realized that I still had at least 2 hours of work ahead of me and didn't feel like I had the energy to continue. One of the things that I loved about applying the adaptive, and I actually took one adaptive capsule and applied the roll-on. What I found was I was immediately able to regroup. I sat down, I listed my tasks, and I was able to finish by 6 p.m., which was my goal all along, to have a hard stop at 6 p.m., including finishing this presentation. And that was super important for me, but it was also the light bulb moment, because I thought to myself, would I have been able to do this with another essential oil blend? And the answer in that moment was no, or it would have been more difficult for me. So helps to boost mood, assists in centering, increases strength, reduces feelings of anxiousness and tension. Okay, I'm going to put that in. There we go. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Okay. Okay. So that's it about adaptive, but I'm going to answer your questions in a minute. If you did not go to convention, but you would have liked to have gone, but were not able to, the live stream is still available. If you go onto the live stream, please type in, make sure you get on and you are logged in, because the on-demand is available through October 31st. So you still have over a month to watch the great content that was presented at the Global Convention. If you're interested in the adaptive line and you want to hear more, you can hear more, obviously, from Dr. Hill and also Emily Wright and all of the other panelists that talked about the many, many products that were released this month, excuse me. The other thing is that in the weeks ahead, next week, I'm going to be talking about the 4 new oils: citronella, lemon eucalyptus, black spruce, and celery seed, because I feel like those are products that are a little bit out of the box. And you may be thinking, these are interesting, but how am I using these? If there is a post-convention tour event in your area, please go. There's going to be a lot of new information. The kits are going to be available, and you're going to hear things that you probably have not heard before. So number 1 is watch the convention live, get on the live streaming. And number 2 is go to post-convention event and get the products in their original packaging so you can get everything together. Okay, you can follow on, if you would please, follow on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn. We're posting almost daily about new products, about things that you want to learn. I'm going to be talking a lot about the adaptive line over the next few days. You want to make sure that you can review this particular presentation that will be on YouTube and in the Facebook groups. You know that it's on Team Power Diamond and Oil Camp Alumni, and several other pages that are private. On Instagram, I'm posting about different sorts of uses for the oils, but I'm actually really encouraged by these new products, and I'm grateful that I get to work with doTERRA. One of the messages that came out again and again during this particular convention, number one, was their dedication to purity, that they are a company that is talking about purity almost every day, and that if we are we are setting a standard that really at this point no one else is going to be able to duplicate. They may be able to follow in our footsteps, but they won't be able to duplicate. The other thing that I think that the standard does is it sets the standard for other people coming behind us, either going to have to step up and get out of the adulterated market of essential oils, or they're going to really just fall away and be left behind. There is always going to be a market in adulteration. There's always going to be a market for synthetics. That's not going to go away. But the companies that are saying that they're pure and want to do something better, they're going to have to step up their game. And now, as a multi-billion-dollar company, doTERRA really has set a standard that's going to, it's the flag waver, the standard bearer for everyone else in the market. And for that, I'm extremely proud. The last thing that I love about doTERRA is their ability to go out into different markets and act responsibly and to give back. And it makes me want to be able to give back. And while I can never give back on the scale that doTERRA does as a corporation, I can work within my local market with my friends and family and with people that I know and people that I will meet to provide them the best service and actually connect them to products and services that I know will help them in the long run. Okay, remember, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, you are amazing. And I hope that some nugget of information that I was able to pass along today has touched you and that you're thinking, my goodness, I'd like to try these products, or I know somebody who can. Make sure that you're introducing your family and friends to them. I have, as you know, 2 students, a high schooler and a college student, and you can be sure that the minute the products are available for sale on October 1st, I'm going to be giving a set to my son and a set to my daughter. My son, because he lives still at home, has been sharing my set with me and actually really likes the Adaptive line. He's 17, but he's as big as a grown man, and he's able to take the capsules, the roll-on, and the essential oil. What's interesting is, and I'm sure you're all going to ask me this, I would use the roll-on on a small child, I would say from ages 4 and up. Under the age of 4, I would probably use the kids line, and there are lots of different products within the kids line. But if you are diffusing in a room where you feel that there's a lot of tension or anxiety or stress or a kid who is crying, you could absolutely diffuse that. Use the Adaptive line, the essential oil, not the roll-on, to diffuse within a room. Okay, and last but not least, thank you so much for being here and have a wonderful week. Now I'm going to go to our questions. Whoops, what did I do here? There we go. Okay, let me stop the share. Okay, talk to me. Okay, what are your questions? Let me go to the chat. Okay, let's see. Could you repeat the recipe used for sleep at night? How many Serenity Adaptive and Copaiba? Yes, absolutely. Okay, so Serenity capsules on the bottle, it says 2 Serenity capsules. So I take 2 Serenity capsules, 1 Copaiba capsule, and now I'm taking 1 Adaptive. So that's 4 capsules. If I absolutely positively cannot go to sleep in the middle of the night, or I know this is, usually for me, it has something to do with jet lag, then I'm adding an additional gel cap with 4 drops of vetiver. So that's my recipe. So I'm taking, hi, David Sterling. I hope I'm honoring your business and your presence. Thanks so much for being with us today. So if I am, what I've been doing is so 10:30 bedtime for me, right? 10:30, I want to be asleep. 9:30, I'm taking an Adaptive. 10 o'clock, I'm taking 2 Serenity and 1 Copaiba. And then if I were to wake up, I would take the 4 drops of vetiver, and I might repeat the Serenity all over again. What they're also finding with Copaiba, which is very interesting, is they didn't realize how long the effects will last in the body. And that may be something that we want to talk about in a future week, that Copaiba really lasts much longer in the body than we thought it did. So the long-lasting effects can help us to reduce tension, to reduce muscle stress and strain. So I hope that helps you. Okay, a couple of people saying thank you. Adaptive soft gel kicks in 2 hours after I ingest it. Have begun taking it 2 hours before bedtime and getting a very deep sleep. Taking it during the day does relax me, perhaps a bit too much, getting sleepy. Okay, interesting. I am not finding it makes me sleepy. I'm finding it just relaxes me. The other thing you might want to try is just using the roll-on during the day if this soft gel seems to make you too relaxed. Do we need to further blend again the touch to use this on kids below 2 years old? Is the blend already suitable for kids? So like I said, I would say age 4 and above, yes, you could apply it. I wouldn't drown your child in it, but I would put a little bit of a swipe on them. Under 4 years old or under 3 years old, I would probably dilute it one more time. You could try using just kind of, let's pretend this is the roll-on, just boop, a touch, and then kind of smoothing it in for a very small child. So I would say, at the very least, there's nothing in there that's dangerous, and all of the products that are in there are pure essential oils. There are no additional ingredients. There's no GABA or scaledium or ahi flower in the roll-on or the essential oil blend. Also notice some aches and shoulders where tension is leaving. Wow, that's really good. I love that. Someone says send a set to her daughter and son. Okay, terrific, great. And why did you add Copaiba? Please explain. Okay, so why do I add Copaiba? So there are certain oils that are great. Let's call them companion oils. One of them is Copaiba, and maybe we'll have a whole, how would you like that? I'll do a Zoom on companion oils. Give me a hands up if you want me to do a presentation on companion oils. Okay, tell me. Companion. Okay, one of those oils is a companion oil. It's Copaiba. What I love about Copaiba is it acts as a enhancer or lengthener, if you will, or maximizer of other oils. So when we blend Copaiba soft gels with Serenity soft gels, we get better sleep. If we blend Copaiba with turmeric, we get better pain relief. If we blend Copaiba with Deep Blue, we get better antioxidant effects. So Copaiba can be blended with a lot of different things to have better effects. And I like using the two together because what we're seeing over and over is that Copaiba is an enhancer. It can be used alone, but when used in conjunction with another oil or a blend, or another capsule, it can be extra good. Okay, so I'll make sure I'll prepare a presentation, not for next week. Next week I'm doing the 4 oils. Maybe I'll add in a little bit of Copaiba, so at least we can talk about that. Okay, so today, 2 lucky people are going, now obviously you know I don't have tons of extra sets, so this is not going to be mailed until after October 1st, so the 2 winners today, you just have to hold on, but 2 lucky winners are going to win a set of Adaptive. The capsules, the roll-on, and the oil. The capsules, the roll-on, and the oil. Yes. Who's that up here? Sam, I saw your eyebrows go up. That's a really good thing. Yes, you. I saw your eyebrows. That's good. So we're super excited. This is going to be a really good, and Hannah's going like this. Ah! So I hope you're really excited about this. You're going to get two lucky winners are going to get a whole set. So who are our winners for today? Okay. Winner number 1. Okay. And I have to say, I loved preparing this presentation. It was a lot of fun, and I feel like I got some really good information. Before I close and before I mention the winners, I'm going to mention one more thing to you. I have started using a new app which is called, and many of you have probably already used this already, and you're probably thinking, Elena, you're in the dark ages. When are you going to get modern? But I'm telling you, I haven't used a lot of apps. I love my books, but I'm using the EO, the Essential Oil Life app, and I am loving it. And I just want to mention to you that, can you see this? I think you can. That Adaptive is already on here. All of the oils are on here. So if you, all the new oils. So if you didn't go to convention and you didn't get a book, you can download this app. And the cool thing is, it's free for the first 7 days, and then it's only $4.99 US for the whole year. So is it worth it? I think it's worth it. And it says that Adaptive is great for chaotic environments and situations and lack of tranquility, loss of composure, poor coping capacity and anxiety, menopause-related moodiness and depression, addictive and compulsive or obsessive behaviors and overthinking, lack of motivation and mental fatigue, lack of focus and concentration, inability to stay on task or restlessness, upset baby or colic, tired, achy, or weakened muscles or growing pains, loss of sense of smell, elevated cortisol levels, and also can be used as a perfume because it smells delicious. Okay, so now my two, can I repeat the app again? Yes, absolutely, Hannah, hold on. Write the name of the app, yes, okay, hold on. Whoops. Okay, I'm writing the name of the app. The name of the app is, one second. Essential Life. And it is the little square. I don't know, can you see in my screen? You see the little screen? It's a green leaf like that. See it right there? It's like a green leaf. Green square with leaf. And it is free for 7 days, then $4.99. Oops. $4 each year. Okay. Got it? Okay. I hope you find it. And write the name of the app. Can't see clearly. Okay. You see the app now, everybody? Everybody got the app who needed it? Okay. So our winners this week of the full adaptive set, are you ready? Blah, 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 are Rowena Pillapill, and Mary Ang. Rowena Pillapill and Mary Ang, congratulations. Thank you everyone for being here. Don't forget, next week we're going to be talking about the 4 new oils, and I'll add in some Copaiba because I realize that you are interested in learning more about that. Thank you all for being on today. I try to talk really fast. I think I did pretty well, 9:50, and I'm just getting finished. I can't wait to see you all. In the weeks ahead, I'm going to be announcing another trip that I'm going to be taking to Southeast Asia, and I hope I'm going to be able to see you. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and God bless you. I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye now.